Welcome to RCSI, the University of Medicine and Health Science. My name is Frank Donegan. I'm the head porter of RCSI, and today I'm going to give you a tour of our campus. As I stand here in the old front hall of our campus here today, this is where our history started. RCSI has a long history in medicine and surgery. Back in 1765, Sylvester O'Halloran advocated to have a Royal College here in Ireland. The building itself was built on an old Quaker's graveyard. Today, RCSI has 3 founder members. I'm standing right beside here Mr. William Dease. He was our first professor of surgery. The second founder member of our college, we name after our president's office here today, is Abraham Collis, who taught anatomy here in the college. He also went on to discover a very famous fracture of your wrist called the Collis fracture. It's a little fracture here on your hand. And the third founder member of our college is a man called George Rennie. And he played a really key part here in our college. And there's a long line of history about this man. He's up in our boardroom, which we'll be shortly going up to have a look as part of our tour today. So in 1784, the college receives its charter from George III. We still have the original charter here in the college, which we keep in our archive section of the college, because it's a very old document with its stamp. As I stand here on the bottom of the old staircase here in the old part of the building here, there's just some references I'd like to point out as I'm here. Just to my left on the wall here is a plaque which was unveiled by the President of Ireland back in 2010, Mary McAleese, to celebrate our occasion of 200 years on this particular site from 1784. The other piece of history that we created in 2010 was we elected our very first female president in the history of all the Royal Colleges. Her name was Professor Ailish McGovern. Today, RCSI is governed by a council. There's 21 members of our council who would sit here on the first Thursday of each month. Okay folks, we're standing in the old college boardroom here. It's a very lovely old room, originally designed to house our college committees and our court of examiners. Today we use the room for a very extensive amount of events, so we do have many dinners, receptions. Some of the things I'd love to point out is the 3 rugs I'm standing on here today. These are called a Joyce rug, and these were done specially for RCSI back in 1984. That's the year when we celebrated our bicentenary. We had a visit from Nancy Reagan, who was First Lady of the US back then. And Nancy Reagan wanted to visit our college because her father, Lyle Davis, is an honorary fellow of our college. Just over my shoulder here to my left is a lady called Emily Winifred Dickinson. Emily Winifred Dickinson was the very first female fellow of RCSI. Over my right-hand shoulder here we have Mary Josephine Hannan, who was the very first licentiate here of RCSI back in 1890. She went on, she studied here as a student and went on to graduate as a doctor. So on the 24th of April, 1916, we had the Easter uprising. And this is the time that our building was taken over by a lady called Countess Markievicz, Major Michael Mallon, and 110 insurgents. And they took our building over for 1 week during Easter week here. Just behind me here, you will see an original bullet hole from 1916 when they were in the building here. And if you ever get the opportunity to be out on Stephen's Green looking up to the facade of our building, you will see many bullet holes in the front of our building during this time. As we've just left the boardroom, we head into our college hall where I'm standing here now. Originally the old examination hall. Today we still use it as an examination hall. So when you're part of a student body, we'll do examinations over on this side of the building. We're now standing outside the anatomy department where I'm going to take you in and we're going to meet Professor Clive Lee, who is our Professor of Anatomy.
My name's Clive Lee. I'm Professor of Anatomy here in the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. In fact, I'm the 29th Professor, following on from a series that began in 1785. Our most famous Professor was Abraham Collis, and in subsequent years we've had William Thornley Stoker, who was the brother of Bram Stoker, Daniel Cunningham, and my immediate predecessor, Stanley Monkhouse. We teach anatomy here by dissection. As you can see in the painting over my shoulder, the students are dissecting, and then they are taught in the anatomy room by our surgeon preceptors, retired surgeons with over 40 years clinical experience.